Hello, aloha, dear friends. Welcome back to another reading of the World Order of Baha'u'llah, Selected Letters. If you are tuning in for the first time, I say welcome. Linked below, you will find the mission statement for this video, as well as the playlist, so you can catch up to us. But if you're just tuning in, you want to dive in, that is awesome. And I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel and to like this video, and feel free to comment at any time. All of these things help enrich this study, the comments at least, and the likes and the subscribes actually help more people find these. So it's just the YouTube game, and I really appreciate it. So we are rounding out like a 3-part series here in the reading. I've made it a 3-part. It was really a question and an answer. So the question was, what is the difference between the Baha'i Faith and ecclesiastical organizations? And Shoghi Effendi gives this very thorough, comprehensive question that someone may ask us or might ask of the Baha'i Faith as a whole. How is the Baha'i Faith not just a different name? How are the institutions of the Baha'i Faith not just different names for the institutions you find in other faiths? So that was part 1. And so that was the big question. And then I've split up the big answer in 2 videos just for convenience here. And Shoghi Effendi is very clearly and systematically going through the answer, which is essentially the covenant. And he goes in his Shoghi Effendi style very deeply into the history of Christianity, and how, since there was no cohesive element given by the actual words of Christ about how to proceed into the future, it precipitated the faith breaking off into many, many different sects, which have, in his words, weakened its influence. And which is amazing, because obviously Christianity has had such a huge influence, as has Islam, which he also says everything that was actually in the Quran, as far as their laws of divorce and marriage and dowry, all of that has been upheld for a very long time. But the successorship, which was not actually written, has been the cause of division. So again, really thorough answer in the last video from last week. And now we're still in the middle of this section, which is called Difference Between Bahai Faith and Ecclesiastical Organizations, if you are reading along with me in the linked document. Okay, groovy? So Shoghi Effendi has just gone over Christianity and Islam, and he says, not so with the revelation of Baha'u'llah. Unlike the dispensation of Christ, unlike the dispensation of Muhammad, unlike all the dispensations of the past, the apostles of Baha'u'llah in every land, wherever they labor and toil, have before them, in clear, in unequivocal and emphatic language, all the laws, the regulations, the principles, the institutions, the guidance they require for the prosecution and consummation of their task, both in the administrative provisions of the Baha'i dispensation and in the matter of succession, as embodied in the twin institutions of the House of Justice and of the guardianship the followers of Baha'u'llah can summon to their aid such irrefutable evidences of divine guidance that none can resist, that none can belittle or ignore. So let me just read that last part again. Both in the administrative provisions of the Baha'i dispensation and in the matter of succession, as embodied in the twin institutions of the House of Justice and of the guardianship, The followers of Baha'u'llah can summon to their aid such irrefutable evidences of divine guidance that none can resist, that none can belittle or ignore. Therein lies the distinguishing feature of the Baha'i revelation. There we go. Therein lies the distinguishing feature of the Baha'i revelation. The administrative order, the administrative provisions, and the matter of succession. Therein lies the strength of the unity of the faith, of the validity of a revelation that claims not to destroy or belittle previous revelations, but to connect, unify, and fulfill them. So, there's a lot here that's very simple that I think is great to have on the tip of your tongue. So what is the difference between the Baha'i Faith? Well, after this long explanation, he really boils it down to the, what did he call it again? The administrative provisions and the matter of successorship. It's very, very clear. That is the distinction. Those have been the cause of disbursement in the past, and Baha'u'llah has remedied them. And the Baha'i Faith's revelation with previous revelations, the Baha'i Faith claims not to destroy or belittle those previous revelations, but to what? Connect, unify, and fulfill them. So, does the Baha'i Faith think it's better than other faiths? No, the Baha'i Faith connects, unifies, and fulfills past faiths. Just imagine me going there, giving you your 1, 2, 3, I'll give you your cue note. It's not me and Shogi Fendi, but I'm giving you the visual. Connect, unify, and fulfill. It's very lovely. It's so clear, you know? This is the reason why Baha'u'llah and Abdu'l-Baha have both revealed and even insisted upon certain details in connection with the divine economy, which they bequeath to us, their followers. This is why such emphasis has been placed in the will and testament upon the powers and prerogatives of the ministers of their faith. For nothing short of the explicit directions of their book and the surprisingly emphatic language with which they have clothed the provisions of their will could possibly safeguard the faith for which they have so gloriously labored all their lives. Nothing short of this could protect it from the heresies and calumnies with which denominations, peoples, and governments have endeavored and will, with increasing vigor, endeavor to assail it in the future. So again, nothing short of the explicit directions of their book and the surprisingly emphatic language with which they have closed the provisions of their will can safeguard the faith from the attacks that have happened and will happen. We should also bear in mind that the distinguishing character of the Baha'i revelation does not solely consist in the completeness and unquestionable validity of the dispensation which the teachings of Baha'u'llah and Abdu'l-Baha have established. Its excellence lies also in the fact that those elements which in past dispensations have without the least authority from their founders been a source of corruption and of incalculable harm to the faith of God have been strictly excluded by the clear text of Baha'u'llah's writings. Those unwarranted practices in connection with the sacrament of baptism, of communion, of confession of sins, of asceticism, of priestly domination, of elaborate ceremonials, of holy war, and of polygamy have one and all been rigidly suppressed by the pen of Baha'u'llah, whilst the rigidity and rigor of certain observances, such as fasting, which are necessary to the devotional life of the individual, have been considerably abated. Oh, that's really interesting. So it's a lot more graceful, easy, abated. It's softened a little bit. Do I have the definition of that right? I think so. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's there, but it's more compassionate. That's how I understand it. So that's so interesting. So not only is the dispensation of Baha'u'llah and his directives extremely clear and defined, but it also targets the issues that have been the seeds of division and corruption in the past and eliminates them. It's a beautiful design. Well, thank you, my friends, for studying with me this Friday. If you are watching this in real time, I wish you a wonderful last day of your fast and a joyous Nowruz. I hope that you feel the blessings with which you no doubt have from this season of the fast, this month of loftiness, and that this is just an incredible new year for you personally and for the Baha'i community or whatever your faith community is, and for the world. So many blessings and much love. I actually have my podcast equipment out because I'm just about to interview Nabil from So Ready for Health website and podcast, So Ready for Health. He's going to come on Spiritual Conversation with me, and we're going to talk about ways to harness this momentum of the fast to empower a healthier new year, and also talk about faith and things in the world and all kinds of good stuff. So I will be releasing that on March 23rd here on YouTube and on my podcast. So if you haven't already subscribed here on YouTube and or to any place where you listen to podcasts, it's I have fasting brain. It's Spiritual Conversation with Jacqueline Claire, and it's on Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, Apple, Google, all those podcast places. All right, my friends, I wish you the best for playing your part in making this world a better place. Catch you next time.